What's up, everyone? It's your boys, the Salud Cabrones podcast, Danny and Javier, and we're coming to you live from the Days of the Dead convention with none other than Chicago's own Freddy Rodriguez, man.
Saludos, cabrones.
Yeah.
Que no chingues, güey.
That's going to be a sound clip going forward. Just clip that and put it out there.
Freddie, man, thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time, bro.
Oh,
Appreciate
for sure. Thank you for having me.
Like I said, one of Chicago's own, man. How does it feel to be back home?
Oh, man, you know what's been wonderful? Everyone here has been telling me where to go eat. They're like, hey, man, have you had any jibaritos since you've been here? And I'm like, no. Like, you had any thin crust pizza? No. So, like, I've been sitting at this table and just meeting people and just jotting down information of all of these new restaurants and restaurants that I haven't hit yet either. And so when I come here, I always gain like 10 pounds. So I'm just kind of getting ready to digest all this food.
So as a local, since you're talking food, what was your original place to hit up?
Well, let me tell you, man, Father and Son Pizza on Milwaukee Avenue, the best tavern-style pizza you'll ever have, ever. I stand by that statement, man. I know people. I know those are fighting words for certain people because everybody has their own pizza place. But to me, that was the best pizza ever.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was talking earlier. One of my favorite movies, man, that you were in was A Lot Like the Holidays.
Thank you.
How was that coming back home, doing A Lot Like the Holidays, and producing that film?
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. That film means a lot to me. Nothing Like the Holidays. It was the first movie that I got to produce, and so I had the honor of like trying to gather that cast together. And so to get Alfred Molina and John Leguizamo and Luis Guzman and Jay Hernandez and Deborah Messing and the late, rest in peace, Elizabeth Pena, and I don't even know if I'm missing anybody. Luis Guzman, I don't know if I said him. Was a dream come true, you know, and what was so beautiful is that they all said yes right away, you know, which was very sort of flattering for me that they would do that for me because those people have their pick of the litter, you know, but they all wanted to come to Chicago and freeze their butts off and to get to do a family film with me, and I was so grateful. And what makes me even more grateful is when I talk to people like you know, years later, who tell me that they love the movie, who tell me that they watch it every single Christmas. And, you know, that's what this job is all about, right? Is creating product and creating film and television that resonates with people. So I'm so grateful that it does.
As a little nugget of information, when we're talking to you, we told you that our friend Raul Colon had his start in the business because of your movie that you created. Yeah. What does that mean to you when you affect someone's life like that through what you do?
I mean, that's incredible. Yeah, you told me that he was. You said that he was an extra on the movie, and then
first the film was filming on his street. Okay. And he always thought about getting into film, so he asked people in the production crew how can he get into it, and they used him as an extra, and that's weighed his love for film and pursue it even further. And now, shout out to Raul Colon. Now he's a director. He's working for NBC out in Florida.
It's incredible, man. I love it, bro. It brings a tear to my eye. Raul, congratulations, man. That is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you know, I can't even begin to tell you. I mean, that's a beautiful, beautiful story. But even people who were young, for example, and who I get to meet, and who I always try to just give nuggets of information to people that help. And you have no idea how, like, 10 years later, somebody will come up to me and they'll be like, hey, man, you don't remember me? And I'd be like, I think so. They'd be like, man, it was because of the conversation that they had with me that they went on to also have a career in film and television, or to get to pursue whatever their dreams were. And so, like, you know, listen, I'm incredibly blessed, and so that's you know, I feel like that's my job, is to be able to pass that on to other people and for them to use that information to get to achieve what they want to achieve, you know.
And I felt like that movie was more like your love letter to Chicago. Would you say is that true?
It was. It's not a perfect movie, but, you know, I tried the best I could, and you know, I used every ounce of leverage and power that I had to bring a piece of product to Chicago, right? To employ Chicago actors, employ Chicago crew, to make it about a family that lives in Chicago, and to also film it in neighborhoods that you would not normally see in Chicago, right? Every time you see Chicago in a movie, it's always downtown, it's always, you know, the same locations. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not dissing that, you know, but I really wanted to showcase Humboldt Park, to showcase the Northwest Side. just like my boy Joseph Sikora is doing on his show. Shout out Joseph, that's my man right there. And him and I have had many conversations about this subject matter, and he did the same thing, you know, when he had his chance to make his spin-off, which was originally supposed to be set in California. I remember him telling me that he went to the network and he told him, no, I want to film it in Chicago and I want to do the same thing. So shout out to Joseph, who's on sort of the same trajectory as I am.
Big shout out to Joseph, Power Force, man. I was very fortunate and very humbled to be part of that show, man.
That's right.
And thank you to Joseph, man, for bringing me on that show. And as a Chicago historian, man, to see the both of you, the love for Chicago for you guys, that you guys have, man. And also, man, back in the day, Dead Presidents, dude, I love Dead Presidents. That was great. That was great, man. How was it, man, doing Dead Presidents? It's still classic to me, Dead Presidents, man. How do you feel being so long ago, Dead Presidents, and you guys, and it's still people still showing the love for it to this day?
There's memes about that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know, you hope as an actor in your career that you have classics, right? Classics that resonate 2-3 decades later, and Dead Presidents is one of those movies that still resonate. I still see people dressing up like me every Halloween, which is always so flattering. But I'll tell you the story, man. You being Chicago, I was right out of high school, right? I went to Lincoln Park High School, and I was acting all through high school. I was a drama major, and then high school was over. And my dad was pressuring me to go to college, right? And I was like, Dad, just give me a year. I just want a year to see if I can make this high school, this acting thing happen, right? So a year, I was pounding the pavement, man. Nothing was happening. The year was up, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna go to school, right? So I started to apply for Columbia College, and then I had this audition for a movie called The Walk in the Clouds, right? And I was like, man, that's some big Hollywood production. Keanu Reeves, Anthony Quinn. Like, you know, I just didn't have my hopes high, right? Auditioned once, auditioned twice, 3 times, and I got that movie, right? And while I was out in California doing that movie, I had a week off, and I went in and I auditioned for Dead Presidents, and I landed it. And so what a lot of people don't realize when I watch that movie was, like, I was right out of high school, I was 19 years old, I had an apartment over on Logan Boulevard in Rockwell, I was still living in Chicago. And when I finished those movies, I had come back to Chicago, and I was still living here in Chicago. So I was still like a local actor in Chicago. So, you know, just a little bit of Chicago history, man, that I was still very much here and in the hood, you know, when I did that movie.
Your resume speaks for itself, man. You've been grinding, you've been putting in the hard work. And like I told you before we started filming, man, thank you, man. Like, I always want to be an actor. To see a Latino actor from Chicago, man, that was very inspiring for me, man. So thank you for that.
I very much appreciate that, and for all of the other Chicago, Latino anywhere, Latino Texas, Latino Los Angeles, you know, just you got to just keep doing it, and you got to keep working at your craft. Keep trying to be the best that you can possibly be, right? So that every time somebody turns that TV on and they see your face, you're always giving it 100%. You know, I feel like sometimes people think like, nobody's gonna see this movie. Let me give it 50%. Let me give it 60%. No, man, you just never know who's tuning in at 3 a.m. and watching something that you're on. You know, just always be great. Always try to be great in whatever you do, and the cream will always rise to the top. You know?
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for your time, brother. You have no idea how much we appreciate this.
Absolutely, Chi-Town, Bucktown in the house, baby. Humboldt Park, Lincoln Park High School. What you know about that? Pulaski Elementary. What's up?
Are we gonna talk about tagging too right now? Sure, let's go. Let's do this, guys. Let's go do some freaking graffiti right now. We heard some stories right before this, guys.
Big shout out to Freddy Rodriguez, man, for coming and hanging out with us. Freddie, we just sign off by saying salud, cabrones, brother. So
salud, cabrones. No chingues. No manches, way.
And we out.